Welcome to the Travel Robot. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified when we post a video. The county seat of Ada County and the capital and most populous city of Idaho in the United States is Boise. It is situated on the Boise River in southwest Idaho, 41 miles east of the border with Oregon and 110 miles north of the border with Nevada. The elevation of the downtown area is 2,704 feet above sea level. The population was 235,684 as of the 2020 U.S. Census. The Boise metropolitan region, often known as the Treasure Valley, is the most populous metropolitan area in Idaho and comprises 5 counties with a total population of 749,202. Boise, Nampa, and Meridian are the 3 biggest cities in the state. In terms of population, Boise is the 77th most populated MSA in the country. The heart of Boise's culture, downtown is also home to a large number of small companies and high-rise structures. Numerous stores and eateries may be found in the vicinity. 8th Street has a pedestrian area in the middle with eateries and sidewalk cafes. Numerous local eateries, bars, and shops can be found in the neighborhood. Additionally, the Basque Block, which celebrates Boise's Basque ancestry, is located in this region. The Idaho State Capitol, the historic Egyptian theater at the intersection of Capitol Boulevard and Main Street, the Boise Art Museum on Capitol in front of Julia Davis Park, and Zoo Boise are some of the top sites in downtown Boise. According to the City of Boise's History of Boise report, the Boise Valley Shoshone and Bannock tribes lived in the area of Boise Valley, a part of the Snake Country, and they gathered annually in the valley to participate in trading rendezvous with other tribes and catch salmon in the Boise River runs to help sustain them year-round. Castle Rock, called 1. Aquarium of Boise. In 2008, the nonprofit organization that constructed and runs the Aquarium of Boise was established. The aquarium was finally erected in a refurbished 10,000 square foot warehouse in Boise after numerous failed attempts to find a place. On December 16, 2011, the aquarium welcomed visitors. Each month, it receives roughly 25,000 visitors, including people from California, Idaho, Utah, Washington, Oregon, and school groups and community organizations. With several displays still unfinished when it first opened, it constantly expands as more exhibits are added. A total of $300,000 in modest donations, season passes, daily entrance sales, grants, fundraising efforts, corporate events, and private parties went into the construction of the aquarium. The Idaho Aquarium changed its name to the Aquarium of Boise on May 21, 2014. This was part of a bigger reorganization process that also included a new CEO, COO, and board of directors to preserve and enhance the organization's position as an essential component of the community's educational infrastructure. 2. Bogus Basin. 16 road miles to the north-northeast of the city of Boise is the ski area of Bogus Basin Mountain Recreation Area in the county of Boise, Idaho. On privately owned and leased territory in the Boise National Forest, Bogus is maintained by the Bogus Basin Recreation Association, a non-profit organization. Depending on snow conditions, the ski season typically lasts from Thanksgiving weekend until the weekend before April 15. The region offers cross-country skiing on 23 miles of Nordic tracks. The 19th century gold rush is possibly whence the place received its name. Spelterers, or thieves, made fake gold dust by heating lead filings with small amounts of actual gold dust in the hills above Boise City. The site for the ski slope at Bogus Basin was chosen in 1939 by Alf Engen, the pioneer of the American powder technique. It had a 500-foot rope tow when it first opened to the public 80 years ago in December 1942, and a 3,300-foot T-bar was added in 1946. Early in the 1950s, Corey Engen built a 30-meter Nordic ski jump for Bogus, and his brother Sverre served as Bogus ski instructor. In the fall of 1959, Bogus constructed its first chairlift at Deer Point, and night skiing made its debut in December 1964. At the moment, the resort runs 7 chairlifts and 4 magic carpets. 3. World CNTRE for Birds of Piraei. The Peregrine Fund, an international nonprofit organization created in 1970 that conserves endangered raptors worldwide, has its home at the World Center for Birds of Prey in Boise, Idaho. The World Center for Birds of Prey, constructed 38 years ago in 1984, is situated on 580 acres on a hilltop overlooking Boise, south of the airport and east of Kuna. The Velma Morrison Interpretive Center, breeding facilities for threatened raptors, the Peregrine Fund's administrative offices, and the Herrick Collections Building, which holds a sizable research library and the archives of falconry, are all located on the property. The Peregrine Fund is renowned for its international work in raptor conservation and recovery. The peregrine falcon was taken from the U.S. as part of the organization's initial recovery attempt because it was in danger of going extinct due to the extensive use of the pesticide DDT. 1999 saw a Boise-based worldwide celebration add the species to the endangered species list. 4. Biriunen. Located in Owyhee County in southwest Idaho, Bruneau Dunes State Park is a public leisure and geological preservation area in the western United States. It is 15 miles south of Mountain Home and northeast of Bruneau. The state park is home to North America's tallest single-structured dune, which is about 470 feet tall. It also has other enormous dunes and little lakes. The 4,800-acre park has the Bruneau Dunes Observatory, where guests can view the stars through a telescope. The park's dunes are distinct from those in the Western Hemisphere because they grow closer to the center of a natural basin than at its periphery. Over 12,000 years ago, the basin began to function as a natural trap. Sands from the Bonneville Flood, which occurred around 15,000 years ago, may have been used to create the dunes. The dunes keep quite stable and, unlike other dunes, do not drift far due to the prevailing winds, which are 28% of the time from the southeast and 32% from the northwest. 5. Idaho City. The county seat and largest city in Boise County, Idaho, in the United States, is Idaho City, situated about 36 miles northeast of Boise. At the 2010 census, 485 people were living there, up from 458 in 2000. The Boise City-Nampa, Idaho Metropolitan Statistical Area includes Idaho City. Amid the Boise Basin Gold Rush, the biggest since the California Gold Rushes a dozen years earlier, Idaho City was established in December 1862 as Bannock, sometimes referred to as West Bannock. Its abundant water supply enabled it to overrun the other close-by camps in the basin, including Placerville, Pioneerville, and Centerville, near the junction of Elk and Moores Creeks. The town's name was changed to Idaho City by the new Idaho Territorial Legislature as its population increased to avoid confusion with Bannock, which is now in Beaverhead County, southwest of Montana. At its height in the mid-1860s, the town had more than 200 establishments, including 30 saloons and 20 law offices. 6. Boise Art Museum. The Boise Art Museum, BAM, is one of several free museums and tourist destinations in Julia Davis Park, which is located at 670 Julia Davis Drive in Boise, Idaho. The museum hosts significant traveling exhibitions and installations all through the year, in addition to housing a growing collection of contemporary realism, modern, and contemporary ceramics, as well as the largest public collection of works by renowned Idaho outsider artist and bookmaker James Charles Castle. The Boise Art Association, the City of Boise, and the Federal Works Progress Administration collaborated to create the original Boise Gallery of Art, which debuted in 1937 as a venue for the local community to view loaned art, traveling exhibitions, and works by regional artists. When the museum's name was changed to the Boise Art Museum and the emphasis on the creation of a permanent collection and educational programs intensified, and the museum's original Art Deco and Egyptian Revival architecture underwent renovations in 1972 and again in 1988. 7. Old Idaho State Penitentiary. From 1872 through 1973, the Old Idaho Penitentiary State Historic Site in the western United States, to the east of Boise, Idaho, served as a working jail. The first structure, also referred to as the Territorial Prison, was built in the Territory of Idaho in 1870. The territory had just been established for 7 years at the time, which was more than 2 decades before statehood. The penitentiary expanded from its humble origins as a single cell house to a complex of numerous eye-catching structures encircled by a 17-foot-high sandstone wall. The inmates who lived there helped with later construction projects and also quarried the stone from the neighboring ridges. 8. Basque Museum and Cultural CNTRE. Visitors can learn about the history of the Basques in Idaho by visiting the Basque Museum and Cultural Center. The fact that it is the only Basque museum in America is awesome. When tour guides are available, admission to the museum also includes a visit to the Fronton Building and the Cyrus Jacobs/Uberwaga House. The staff is welcoming and happy to talk about Basque culture. The walk-through time for this boys' destination is roughly 1 hour. When seeing the museum, be sure to allot some time to Basque Block. It is a wonderful chance to sample some genuine Basque cuisine. 9. Idaho State Capitol Building. The Idaho state government is located in Boise at the Idaho State Capitol. After Idaho Territory was established in 1863, Lewiston briefly served as the state's capital, but on December 24, 1864, the Territorial Assembly transferred it to Boise. John E. Tortolot and Charles Hummel, the building's architects, started work on the first phase of the Capitol complex in the summer of 1905, 15 years after the state's admission to the Union. Tortolot, a native of Connecticut, started his profession in Massachusetts, where it remained after he relocated to Boise. In 1901, German immigrant Hummel formed a partnership with Tortolot. The structure was finished in 1920 for a final cost of just over $2 million. 10. Boise River Greenbelt. Along the banks of the Boise River in Boise, Idaho, the Boise River Greenbelt is a recreational and alternative transportation trail. The Boise Greenbelt's linear nature makes it more like a greenway than a traditional greenbelt. From Lucky Peak Dam in the east to a little distance after Eagle Road in the west, it spans more than 20 miles in Eagle, Idaho. The whole length of the Greenbelt Trail system is more than 30 miles when both banks of the river are included, along with numerous parallel paths and spurs. The Greenbelt links the parks along the Boise River and links the city to its neighboring towns. On both sides of the river, the Greenbelt is paved with asphalt or concrete for the most part. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed our latest video and that it gave you some inspiration for your next adventure. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more travel tips, guides, and recommendations. And if you have any suggestions or requests for future videos, let us know in the comments below. Safe travels, and we'll see you on our next adventure.